welcome to An Evening with Nina. Arnold Schwarzenegger had held the Mr. Olympia title for many years before he decided to opt out of bodybuilding competitions. This year, Arnold entered the bodybuilding competition in Sydney, Australia, and won the Mr. 1980 Mr. Olympia. I'm pleased to have Arnold on my program, and I welcome him back to Delta.
Thank you.
It's nice to see you back here, Arnold.
Nice being with you on this show again here.
Why did you decide to re-enter the competitions? It was such a surprise to all of us.
It wasn't much of a decision, to be honest with you. It was just one of those things that from the spur of the moment, you just decide to do it and then do it without really asking yourself much of what it really is good for, what it is bad for, you know. I mean, it just was no reason behind it. It was just one of those gut reaction things.
But do you have to be physically fit for competition in a different way than you are normally?
True, but what happened was it was one of those fortunate things that I was training very hard throughout the whole summer, and so I was training for my next film, where I have to gain like 15 pounds of body weight, and so I was already almost in competition shape when I then decided I said, might as well just slip into the competition and not tell anybody and just see what the reactions of the competitors are, you know. And so that's what I did. I went to Australia, I was invited to be a judge in Australia at the Mr. Olympia contest, and what I did was the day before the competition I just announced that I'm competing, and that kind of freaked everybody out, of course, all the competitors, but it was a lot of fun watching those reactions and seeing them, you know, being all psyched out for it and confused, and I had a good time doing it. I really did. It was probably the most fun event that I've ever competed in.
Well, now that you got the title back, did it make any change in your life? I mean, you were out of it, and then you go back and again you take it.
Nothing, no. As a matter of fact, after I won the competition, I've never thought about it again. It was just one of the things that I'm not, you know, proud of myself of doing. It was like a piece of cake. It was something that I don't think was a major achievement, because that wasn't really one of my goals that I want to achieve. You know, it was just something that I did on the side. And the things that I'm much happier with is if I do a good film, like for instance when I heard that the Jayne Mansfield story had a high rating and I got good reviews and so on, that made me more happy. I mean, the competition, of course, winning made me happy, but it was no great event for me.
That Jayne Mansfield movie, that's what you were working out for, wasn't it?
That was one of the things, yes. But the other one is my next film, Conan the Barbarian, which we have started already in October, and that's the film that it was supposed to be very big, and especially for the two scenes that we have shot in October, I was supposed to weigh and I did weigh over 230, and so it was, you know, it wasn't that much work anymore than to go into competition.
What do you play in that film? What part do you play?
Conan the Barbarian, playing a barbarian that becomes then eventually king. And it's a very heroic film, it's a fantasy film, and it's one of those films like a James Bond or Superman or so, you know, bigger than life type of hero.
Do you really like making film better than bodybuilding?
Well, I do both, you know, I still work out every day, and but like I say, the reason why I got out of competition was because I like to make up new goals and have challenges and you know, take risks and so on. And acting is it's a risky profession, you know, because you can make a film and take a dive with it, you know. I mean, go down or make a film and become overnight successful. And so that is something that is very interesting to me and to do. And so that's why I got out of bodybuilding, really. Out of competition, I have to say.
You know, you're physically fit. Do you think that your being physically fit helps your mental health, because you're a businessman as well?
Yeah.
On the side, do you think that good physical health contributes to a better mental health?
Well, yeah, I think that the mind and body always play together. Of course, I think it's very good if you want to be a competitive athlete. It's good to have a really good mind. And if you want to be very good and successful in business or intellectually and in other areas where you need the mind, I think it's very good also to be physically in shape. I think those two really have to be coordinated, and that's of course the idea of weight training, you know, to make people more alert, to make them healthier, to make them have a good circulation of the body, and all those things, and make you feel also more confident, you know, because when you're stronger you feel more confident. So I think that all those things working together is of course the ideal thing.
You were doing some work with prisoners the last time I talked to you. Do you still do that?
Yeah. That's one of the things. I mean, you know, I don't do just seminars in gymnasiums and so on. I do a lot of seminars also for the retarded children. I do seminars for the prisoners and so on. And the reason for that is because you're trying to reach everybody. I mean, fitness is for people, regardless of what they are. You know, if they are poor, or if they're rich, if they're in prison or out of prison, if they're retarded or not retarded, if they're blind or not blind. It doesn't matter. So what I try to do is, and I try to emphasize that, to go out in those areas where they don't have that much chance to really go to a gymnasium and train.
And here in Canada, I hear that you've put the new Westminster Bruins on a fitness program. Is that so?
Yeah, I mean, we have put a program together for them, a weight training program, which is a program similar to the ones that the Russian hockey team is using, and the other famous and good hockey teams are using. And so I think that it will be very helpful for them. And of course, the most important thing always is in any sport is the mental aspect, you know. I mean, it's the idea of, you know, having the winning attitude and having faith in yourself and so on. But everything else after that has to be added on, you know. I mean, it's important to eat the right foods, to have a good weight training program, and to have get all your practice in as possible, and all those things. So all that together would keep them a winning team and make them a winning team.
But someone may have a good diet and a good physical weight, but how do they get that mental attitude that I'm good, I will win, you know? How do they get that?
You have to join my seminar. That's all there's to it. You know. So I mean, this is one of the things that I teach, is how to get this kind of a mental attitude, because without that, there is no winning, you know. I mean, we don't win by just coincidence, you know. We win because we want to win, and we geared up for winning, and we have planned on winning. And so the same is with losing. We don't lose by just coincidence. We lose because we have believed that we're going to lose. And that's it doesn't apply just to bodybuilding or to ice hockey. It applies to everything, even in your profession. You know, if you believe that your show that you're doing, your TV show, is not going to go well, then this is the attitude you're going to have on the show, and then it's not going to do well. So that's the way it is.
Do you think that bodybuilding for women now is still growing bigger and bigger than it was when you first got into it?
Oh, it's very big. It's now, I would say, bigger even than weight training for men. My second book, which was the one that was written for women, outsold my first one, which was for men. And I think that there is an enormous interest amongst women to get into weight training and to get strong and to overcome that this thing that they had from the past, that they're the weaker sex and that they're they're not supposed to sweat, and women are not supposed to do any physical activities and so on and so forth. So this is why it's becoming very popular. It's just an extension of women's liberation again.
But some women, what they resent and what some men don't like is that women may get muscular, that they may look muscular, and no man likes that. And some women do look muscular.
Yeah, but there is, for every kind of woman, there's again another kind of man out there that is attracted to them, you know. So I think that nobody has to worry about that, because I remember when I started training, they said to me that there are some women out there that don't like muscles. You know, who cares? You don't train for other people, you're training for yourself, you know, and that's the important thing, that you do it because you like it. And then if you find somebody out there that enjoys you and likes you for what you are and the way you are, then it's the right person. If they don't, then forget it. You know?
Do you think that if someone, okay, now let me put it that way, if you want to eat cake every day, and you may eat cake, does that mean that you're going to cut back the next day? You know, like models, they have a particular type of diet. Okay, if you wanted to, you know, go out and eat a lovely meal one day, are you going to cut back on your calories the next day? Does it work that way?
Well, everybody has a different system. And there are hundreds of different ways of trimming down your body weight or getting away with eating cake. My way is that I eat the cake, and then I just train harder the next day to burn it off, rather than to eat less the next day. I mean, I will very rarely, cut back on eating because I enjoy eating, and I think that if you run every day and if you work out, you can afford doing that.
Okay, now the one thing people always wonder, Arnold, is that when you get older, is your body going to, or how are you going to stay firm and in shape? What happens
I
when you get
don't
older?
know exactly, because I can only guess, right? And if I have to guess, I would say that my body is going to look 100 times better than the people in my age that have not worked out. And I will be much more alert, and I will feel much better about myself. And I think that weight training slows down the aging process, and I think that people that are working out with weights and are 60 years old feel like 40. And that's one of the big advantages of it.
Arnold, it was really nice talking to you. Have a good seminar while you're here, and I hope you come back and see us again.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope